Doors are off. The boots have been put back in place. We like to do this at the beginning, meaning get as much stuff back to factory as possible. We've removed the factory speakers, drilled out the rivets. We're at a great point now to start. All the zip ties are gone. The new location for the amplifier is going to be underneath the seat. So we took all this out, vacuumed this whole area, got all the debris out of there. There's nothing happening in the rear doors, so we don't have to deal with that. Vacuumed this whole area, vacuumed underneath the back seat, got all of that cleaned up, removed all the excess wiring that was back here in the rear deck, so all of that is gone now. There's nothing back here except for a random iPod cable. Sorry, Android cable. And we've put everything that we've taken out of the car into a pile. None of this is going to get reused, except for maybe the distribution block if we needed it. But the rest of it is just garbage. But we give it all back to the customer because they might have a friend that needs to do some work. I don't know. They get it all back. We've had plenty of people that go, I'm gonna go throw it at the guy that, yeah, whatever, don't do any of that. Just chalk it up to bad luck and move on from there. This is one of the reasons why when we take a job like this, we have to pull everything out of the car. Sometimes people call up and say, no, it's done. I just need to do this. And it's like, no, it's not done. We need to do this. And they're like, oh my gosh. And there again, we can't see what's behind the panels until we get the panels off. And we don't know what's wrong with it, and we can't figure it out until we get it all apart to get it back to this factory 0 point here. The dash is also apart now. We pulled the radio out. This is the RR2 harness. It's all zip tied and taped up. We'll be redoing this for our amplifier. We are going to be using the factory wiring that's there. All the RCAs are out. So everything is in a good spot. The next step will be headed over next door, grabbing the appropriate speaker brackets so we can get those mounted into place. And I'm going to start building our new amp rack, which we're going to go with 1 amplifier now instead of 2. That means let's head over to the bench and take a look at all the parts we need in order to do this installation. To figure out what adapters we need, we went to metroonline.com, typed in our make, model, and year, scrolled down to where it said brackets. There's a 6x9 bracket for the rear, a 6.5 bracket for the front.
In the front doors, he has a set of coaxials and the factory tweeter. The factory tweeter actually still works, so we'll be connecting that back in. And these are the JLC1s. 650. Decent size magnet, stamped steel frame. It is a biampable speaker in that the tweeter wires run up here through the center, so if you did want to go full active on these, you could. Aluminum tweeter here on the top. The cone is made out of some form of a plastic, and it has a rubber surround. Seems like a pretty nice speaker for the money. This is their entry-level speaker system. It's pretty nice. To mount these into the doors, we are going to be using the Metra 828148s. This is a Toyota Universal Fit speaker, and that it'll take different size speakers. For us, we need to remove these brackets here. To do that, grab a pair of duckbills and twist up, and they'll pop right off. This is the size hole we need. Place these on the door and make sure that all these screw holes do line up.
Just rotate it around until you find the correct hole pattern. And that would be it there, with these 2 little extra legs sticking out on the sides like that. This is in fact the bracket that we will be using.
Just like the inside brackets, you can snap these off. And this is what the factory speaker would have looked like. You'll also notice it has this little hole here. This is for where the wire is going to come through. We can take our JL, line it up onto here. There are some holes to screw this in, and that will get us what we need. The next step that we have to do to this is apply some foam to the front and back. The reason for the foam is this is going to go onto a piece of metal. You need a good insulation between the plastic and the metal to reduce vibration, and also to keep any moisture out of the inside of the door leaking into the car. The same is true for the front. You have a metal speaker bracket and a plastic panel. This will give us a nice tight gasket for around the speaker to get into the car. To mount these into the car, because they used rivets, we're going to use some nutserts. So let's take a look at those.
This is a nutsert. As you can see here, there's some threads inside of it that this screw will screw into. You'll also see these lines here. These are the crumple zone. It works very similar to a rivet in that this goes into a hole and then it gets pulled tight, and when this expands, it locks it into place. The first step is to drill out the previous rivet hole to the right size. A step bit is the best way to do that. The tool has a threaded end, the same thread count as the screw you're going to use. Thread on the nutsert. insert it into the hole and squeeze. And on the back side, there is a handle that you twist to unthread it. The advantage of doing it this way is now we have a permanent thread in the door that we can take in and out as many times as we want. It'll just come in and out. If we did have the factory speakers, we could easily screw those back into place. Or if we need to service this one, we can unscrew it and screw it back in. With all three rivets in place, we can screw the bracket in. Next step is to get the speaker screwed into the bracket. Using 1/2-inch small head screws, not the big heads that they were using. That way it doesn't twist up or bind into the basket. We've also added a pigtail onto the back of the speaker with male and female bullet connectors to plug into our factory wiring with the corresponding heat shrink. And that finishes up the speaker the way we would install it. We can get the door panel back on now. The rear speaker is the 6x9 version of the front speaker. Rubber surround, metal tweeter, decent sized magnet in the back. Tweeter wire runs out, bi-ampable if necessary. Fortunately, we don't have the Metra brackets for the rear. We're just out of stock on them, it happens. We've actually made panels previous, meaning before Metra even decided to make a set, we designed our own. Let's take these over to the router and cut out 2 1/4-inch thick panels so we can get these into our rear deck. And we have our first 2, we stack them on top of one another. If you've ever seen us cut one of these out before, you'll notice there's no hole in the center for a speaker. Depending on what speaker they have, we can make our hole to match. If they had a set of 6.5, cut a 6.5-inch hole in here. If they have 6x9s, we'll cut a 6x9, 5x7, 4-inch, it really doesn't matter. That just makes it easier for us. And that means the next step for this is use one of our 6x9 hole guides and put a 6x9-inch hole in here. Make sure when applying something like this that you're going to router out the center, you remove all the tape from the inside of it. Otherwise it's going to get gummed up on your bearings and it'll wear out your bit faster. And these are our adapters that we'll be using for the rear. We have 2 6x9 mounts. That way we won't get gaps and whatnot. We'll apply the same foam that we did to the front to these, both sides, front and back. With our brackets, you can see this is a much nicer install than it was when it showed up. There's also not a bunch of random wiring just hanging out and getting in the way. Let's take a look from the back. Just like the factory would have it, it comes through. There's not a bunch of wire hanging on. There's nothing that's gonna get caught in these trunk bars. The same is the case on this side. We don't have to worry about the trunk opening and closing. In case you're wondering how the wire gets through to the speaker, when we routed it out, you saw there was that one little pigtail. That's the factory clip when we first made it. That's the factory clip hole. There's actually a spot in the metal for the wire to come through. That's why you see it coming through on that side as well as over here on this side. The speaker is not sitting on top of that wiring. With the speakers in and the amp going underneath the front seat, we can put the whole back of the car back together now. We're done back there. We don't have to deal with anything except for this one little run right here. The reason why we don't want to put that back together yet is because that's where the subwoofer wire is going to run through.